All right. So I was watching Sage's Reign, and he was talking about how Naruto failed his female character. Before we get into this, I think Naruto after part one was shit. And if you hate me for saying that, I don't give a fuck. Y'all probably gonna hate me for a lot of shit I'm about to say in this. So let me get myself situated. Let me adjust myself. So the whole thing with Naruto being shit after part one. Well, it started off with delving into the ninja world. Then it started talking about, ninja. Like first it started with the Zabuza arc where it showcased the ninja world and how everything works. It talked about, well not talked about, but it showed this. That ninja were just essentially hitmen for hire. And the question came about like, what is a shinobi really, and do shinobi feel emotion? That whole ordeal. Then it went to the tuning exams, where it showcased how the shinobi world was at war with each other, and they were essentially using the tuning exams to kind of scout out the next country's fighters, so on and so forth. Then as time went on, it became the Naruto and Sasuke show. Side characters got pushed to the side. Sakura, who was supposed to be a main character, got pushed to the side. And then we go into fucking Naruto Shippuden, and instead of things being about hard work, now, he's the child of prophecy. I already knew he was the son of the fourth Hokage since the beginning. I kind of saw the resemblance every time they like showcased a glimpse of the guy. I was like, why should he be the son of the fourth Hokage? Sure enough, he's the son of the fourth Hokage. But like the show to me kind of lost its direction and became something completely different. And then when it came to his fights, it wanted to be Dragon Ball so damn bad. You got ninja controlling time, space, and blowing up mountains and shit. Like that's bullshit. Fuck out of here. I miss the old days where kunai could kill somebody. They focus more on their hand in hand, and they only use the ninjutsu to try to get an upper hand on your opponent. But you couldn't spam the move because you actually had fucking chakra reserves to worry about. Now, whenever someone runs out of chakra, it's for plot. Sasuke. But let's get to this video, and then I'm gonna talk about some of the comments I read. So he's talking about the Naruto would feel this female character is mainly the men are on the front line and the females are kind of in the back. They're the medics, so on and so forth. He feels Hinata should have been a medical ninja. Sakura had great fighting powers, and it's like cool. I mean, he said Hinata didn't really have a goal for herself. So I guess all her training to become stronger with Neji didn't mean shit. But whatever. I still agree with him to an extent. Now I can talk about the reason why in Naruto and just in culture in general, you mainly see men on the battlefield and the women hanging back. It is This is just what's been happening for history since history. Let's just be real. Whenever it come like back then, even now, whenever we think of war, we're always sending in men to do all the fighting. So when that, reflects in Naruto, I'm not saying if it's okay or if it's not okay. What I'm saying is that mainly it's the men who are on the battlefield. Hell, if they had a draft right now, who do you think will be going? All of the young men, the young able-bodied men. So when you see this type of shit reflect into, Japanese animation, because their culture is also very different than ours. They're not all social justice warrior progressive like America is. You're going to see a lot of the men be, on the front lines when it comes to battle. You're going to see a lot of that. Okay, in anime they do change up shit. Okay, you have strong female characters, so on and so forth, but the majority of the protagonists are men. Okay. So that can be a reason as to why you see the men in these anime be on the front line. Am I saying it's okay? No, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just letting you know this is what it is. So that's the first thing. Yes, I believe that these female characters did get shafted. There's characters like Ino. She could have taken up her dad's spot as being an interrogator. She could have did a lot of fucking shit. Tintin, I'm gonna be honest, her concept, her fighting style is kind of shitty. Well, originally in the world of Naruto, it could have been useful, but now that everyone's spamming jutsu and shit, throwing a bunch of knives at people ain't really gonna cut it. They shafted Rock Lee. I hate what the fuck they did to Rock Lee. Like, a lot of characters got shafted. It's not even just the female characters. But he was making a point though about them all becoming medics and shit, and them not being as capable of fighters on the battlefield as the men. I think Hinata should have surpassed Neji by the time she was an. I think she did already by the time she was an adult. I mean, she's a Jonin now, but whatever. You know, it's this not even why I wanted to make the fucking video. It was the comment section that I wanted to talk about. Okay, one, they were discussing, you know, Hinata versus Sakura because these were the two highlighted characters in this series. Some yeah, people get annoyed at people, you know, fans whenever we talk about Sakura versus Hinata. They hate the fact, I can't find the comment, but whatever. The comment was essentially saying, and I'm paraphrasing, they hate the fact that, you know, when people talk about Sakura, they hate Sakura, but they love Hinata when Hinata was a poorly written character. Look, let's compare the two. You have Sakura, who's a main character. I'm not even going to talk about how poorly, quote unquote, written she was. It's the issue with how she treated Naruto. That's why people hate Sakura. Okay? Naruto risked his life for this bitch time and time and time again. And she keeps running to Sasuke. The dude who tried to kill her, right? You still in love with this dude. He tried to kill you. He left you. Y'all never talked about shit. He never acknowledged your feelings for him. He ain't do none of that shit. And you love this dude. Meanwhile, you had Naruto who actually did like her. And actually, I went back to part one to watch part one. He actually understood her. Like legit. He knew what she was feeling and everything. And he also knew that she would never love him back. He made fun of him for being an orphan. He played with his feelings. Okay. Like, she took advantage of him. Then, you know, the only time they ever really did go out on a date, it was when she was upset and she was just using him to dump all of her problems on him. And then there was one scene I remember when Naruto didn't have any money and she was like, well, screw you then. Like damn. Like, then you have Hinata who literally threw herself out there to nearly get killed by pain for Naruto's sake, while Sakura, who arguably was more powerful at the time, should have been out there helping Naruto out. But whatever, you know. If it was Sasuke, she would have jumped out there. I guarantee you. But Naruto, nah, not necessarily. Okay, this boy's been suffering unrequited love with this bitch all his life, only for him to lose out to the dude, lose out to another guy just because he looked better, according to the anime. You know, Sasuke was supposed to be the cute one. All the girls wanted. Ain't had a conversation, nothing. This dude's became a rogue ninja, was really going to kill her and Naruto, and was saying he was gonna kill Kakashi, and she still was wet for this dude. Like, what the fuck? Now, Hinata, you can argue she's a poorly written character because in the series, it seems like her sole purpose was to just please Naruto. You can make that argument. But in the end of the day, Hinata never took advantage of Naruto. She never treated Naruto like shit. Okay, she didn't, you know, didn't ostracize him because he had the 9 tails. She didn't do none of that shit. And Naruto made the smart decision. Why waste your time with a chick who's not even going to reciprocate her feelings when you have a woman who already cares and was willing to risk her life for you? And people are like, well, Naru Hina doesn't make sense because they even bring this up in Boruto. They was like, they don't want Boruto to end up with I forgot what that girl's name. I don't even fucking watch Boruto. I just read comments on some of these videos. But they were saying, if Boruto doesn't end up with Sasuke's daughter, then they're giving up on the show because they don't want another Naruhina. And it's like Naruhina made sense because that was a girl that wanted Naruto. And Naruto, he did respect her and he did care for her. So eventually he could have gained feelings for her. That could have happened. It'd been better than him trying to wait for Sakura when she already was at that point having sex with Sasuke. So what was he gonna do? Just be alone? And like if anything, Sasuke all of a sudden settling for Sakura. I really feel like he settled. I don't think he fell in love with her. He piped her up and dipped. Like I remember a scene where he didn't even recognize his own fucking daughter. Like that is bad. That's fucking sad. But hey, it's Kishimoto. He's not even. He said it himself. He's not great at writing romance, so he just did the best that he could. And them trying to, come up. Like if you count the fillers, then yeah, Naruhina would make more sense. But people don't count fillers, so there's that. I mean, if you count the filler, like Sakura would be even more of a bitch. Like you watch Road to Ninja, you see that shit. But it's whatever. Just a little conversation while I'm sitting here and I'm watching people argue about anime. This son, I was just thinking about now. Who do I think should have gotten more screen time out of all the female characters? Damn, that's a hard one because I really don't give a fuck. I'm trying to think. Shit. Um. Well, they could have did more with Hinata, of course. Not even just fleshed out her relationship with Naruto, but like fleshed out like her as a character. Yes, they should have did that. Sakura's character was just shitty all around. Like she was a bitch. Watch every scene I saw her in when she wasn't fighting on Team 7, when it was just an average regular day, which is the perfect time for character development. How she treated Naruto was pretty bitchy. Hell, how she interacted in society was pretty bitchy. She had parents, she grew up, she had all this shit. All of this stuff as opposed to Naruto who suffered and struggled, and how they contrasted just didn't fucking work. It really didn't. Like pairing them two, I don't see why the fuck you would pair them two. They don't even think on the same playing field. I don't even know shit about Rin. I already said, yeah, 1010 needed more screen time, but what the fuck would they do with her? I don't see how like, her in concept wouldn't be able to compete with the men on the battlefield. Ino could in concept, Hinata could in concept, Sakura could in concept. 1010, no. Tamari, of course. Hell, in Naruto, Tamari was the one who saved Shikamaru's ass. So there are scenes where the females were more capable as fighters. They weren't all medical ninja and all that shit. Like I said, part one did it the fucking best. Like if you're talking about Shippuden shit, then yeah, this shit applies. But in part one, Tamari saved Shikamaru's ass. Sakura was a helpless bitch, just whatever. Hinata had potential in the filler. She actually did grow in her martial arts. Tsunade was literally the Hokage. Like the woman was in charge. And if you see her feats against Orochimaru and Madara and all that shit, she actually was a fucking tank. I'm not even gonna lie. Okay, and her assistant, I forgot her name too, the one who holds the pig. She was a skilled shinobi as well. Anko was also really skilled. The only reason why Anko got her ass was because she was fighting her old master, who just happened to be Orochimaru, the main villain at the time. Yeah. Like shit, Orochimaru even terrified Kakashi at one point. So it's like you can't blame her for losing. It's your old mentor. Like he knows everything that you're gonna do because he taught you that shit. What what else? What else are we gonna talk about? Like fuck. I'm trying to think of other female characters that like the only character I really care about that got the fucking shaft was Rock Lee. Like I was pissed what they did with him. Even the small glimpses of him in Boruto, I can't stand what they did to Rock Lee. Like I still remember seeing another video that was talking about like he was the example of like what was it, human error or some shit. Either way, he wasn't designed to win, which I call bullshit because we never ever seen this man use all 8 gates or even 7 gates. Okay, we never seen him fight after his battle with Gara and shit after Kinemaro. What's that dude's name? The dude with the bones. Like Rock Lee with his drunken fist was actually doing really well, and then after that, like that was a hard counter to lead. Like you're fighting somebody whose main defense is using his bones as fucking armor. Like he's literally has his ribs sticking out of his body and shit. That's hard to fight against. Okay. But when we talk about like other people in the oh yeah, and Rock Lee was also coming off an injury. So yeah, he wasn't even at 100% in that fight. I wanted to see him at 100% going all out alongside with the rest of the cast, and we never got to see that shit. We haven't. We got to see Mike Guy shine for a little bit, but Lee, tell me Lee isn't equally as capable. That's what I cared about. Like I wanted to see more of the Shinobi world. Like if anything, the fourth grade ninja world war, excuse me, shouldn't have been everybody on the battlefield fighting each other. It should have been more like espionage, intel gathering, assassinations and shit. Actual ninja shit. That would have been a fuck ton better. They already was kind of hinting at it with the tuning exams, and they showcased very well what they could do with this type of shit during that time, especially when Orochimaru was trying to destroy the hidden leaf from the inside. But Orochimaru wasn't their only enemies. They had other enemies. You're telling me they didn't try to infiltrate? You're telling me they didn't have spies and shit planted around? The leaf didn't have spies on the rest of them? Nah, they don't even go deep into that shit. Naruto beat Madara. Was it him? I don't know. They beat Kaguya. Naruto became Hokage, and then all of a sudden it was world peace, which is the most unrealistic shit if you really think about it. Um, fuck. Then like they show you a glimpse of the people who actually hired the ninja and what happens outside the ninja world because the ninja world wasn't the only fucking thing there, and yet that all just disappeared. Naruto was supposed to be the gutsy hard worker that was the underdog, and the Nine Tails was supposed to be a curse. Like him befriending the Nine Tails threw me for a loop, but whatever. Um, it was supposed to be like something bad. It was like him taming the power. He had to like. I thought the mutual agreement was if I die, you die, and that's what caused him to even be able to access that power. But now they're the best of friends. Like years and years and years of violence and shit was just solved by talk no jutsu and shit. I don't fucking know, man. Like this is I'm gonna have to rewatch this shit, but damn. Like Plague of Gripes, Naruto the self-made hypocrite actually made fucking sense. Cause Neji was right. Naruto was destined. I mean, shit. You're the son of the fourth. Your teacher was Jiraiya. You had another teacher, Kakashi. Who you was also a student of the fourth Hokage. You know, Naruto was also fucking descendant of the Senju, who he also was a reincarnation of one of those niggas' names. Like, what was it, Indra and Ashura or some shit? You're telling me that you have all of this shit backing you, and you have access to the Nine Tails. Of course he was gonna become fucking. Of course he was gonna get that strong. Fuck out of here, man. And before, what was hard work, now it's like he was destined to do this shit. All he had to do was just get a little somebody to just tell him how to do the shit, and now he fucking hacked out. Like, get out of here. As opposed to Rock Lee, who had nothing going for him. He still trained his ass off just to fucking lose out to everyone else. Fuck out of here, man. But hey, that is what it is. Well, I'm done my rant. I'm done rambling. It's a Naruto video. I don't even fucking watch the show anymore. And that new shit, I don't care about the new shit. The only thing I'm really bothered by when it comes to the new shit is that you have these characters, you gave them these happy lives, all the shit that they worked for or wanted to have, they finally got it. And I'm hearing rumors that that's all about to go out the fucking window. And the main character from the last series is about to die so his son can. It's just headcanon, but if this is true and Boruto is really about to lose everything, meaning them killing the whole point of Naruto's story, I'm really gonna be upset. But hey, it's whatever. Peace.